on how you want to download, but right now we are not going for this. We want the T-enable Nessus, that is this. So we will be redirecting to the download page. Okay, so now you have to choose the platform and the version. So the latest version of Nessus itself is chosen. So right now we have to choose the particular you can say the Linux family. So right now I am using Kali, so we have to search for the Kali Linux. So for that you have, if you can see over here, you have Linux Debian, and below itself it is written that Debian 10, 11, 12 are for Kali Linux. So this is what you are going to use if you are trying to download this particular Nessus on your Kali. But if you are using different Linux families or distribution, you have to choose specifically that. Okay, now just try to download it. So it will pop up this particular agreement and you have to choose I agree. Now your download has been started, and within few minutes it will complete the download. So let's minimize the screen. Now let's clear the terminal as well, and over here you can see the download has been successfully completed. Okay, so over here you can see your download has been successfully completed. Now just we have to, you can say we have to install this. Till this part we have done the download. Now we have to install this particular Nessus in our environment. So for everyone who is using Kali, the simple command is dpkg-i. Now if you are not in the root user, at that time you have to use the sudo command. But if you are already in the root user, just simply type the command. No need to go for sudo, because sudo stands for the super user. So right now I am not the root user, so that's the reason I am using sudo to become the super user. Okay, and now the installation has been started, and within few minutes the installation will be successfully completed. And over here if you can see, there are certain cryptography or you can say signatures are there, which is stated that it is pass. If any failure is over here, if you can see anything which is not stated as pass, that means there are some issues while you are installing the particular stuff. So make sure while installation, everything like the signature or the Nessus setups will make sure that it is pass. Pass means basically the installation is going very smoothly and there is no any kind of error. Once your installation has been successfully done, you will seeing some command, you can say that how you can start your Nessus. The very first stuff that you can either use this, or you can simply use systemctl start Nessus d.service, and how you can view this particular stuff. So for the very first time you will be going for this particular URL or link, that is your 8834. So just to make sure, just note down anywhere, like in your phone, in your notepad, or in your notebook, just make a note down of this particular port, that is 8834, because each time you are going to use this Nessus, you have to go for this port only, because these are the reserve port for Nessus. Okay, now we have done. So let's start our Nessus. So for that I can simply use this particular command which is given by which is already given by them. So simply I am using that only, no need to go for any extra stuff. Nessus d.services and press enter. So over here your Nessus is started. Now if you really want to check whether your Nessus is absolutely working properly and the service has been started or not, simply change your start to status. So over here, when it's showing that you have an active running connection, that means you have successfully installed the Nessus. First stuff. Second part is that your Nessus is working properly, and now you have to go on this particular link. So either you can right click and open the link, or the second option, you can simply type this URL. So it will give you this some warning error. So simply go on advanced. Okay, go to advanced option and then choose accept the risk and continue. So over here it's asking the username and password for me, but for you guys it will be prompting some you can say Nessus Essential. So for the free option you have to go for the Nessus Essential. Okay, once you are done with the Nessus Essential, choosing the Nessus Essential option, and then you can simply skip the part of the activation code, because sometimes it prompts you an error and it is not giving you the activation code. So for activation, just simply type Nessus activation code, and the activation code link itself provided in the description. So just choose this activation code over here, and over here you can see we are going for the free. So this is Nessus Essential, and a same you can say same activation code you can use for 16 different IPs. So no need to generate this activation code again and again. Okay, so you have to register here. So let me show you what it will ask for you. So this is for the activation code. You have to provide the first name and last name, and in the business email you have to write your, or you can say type your working mail from where you want to access this. And once you have done the registration, you will be provided with a activation code, and that activation code you have to provide over here, and then it will ask you the username and for the password as well. So you have to remember that password, because each time you are login you have to use that username and password. So I am already done with that stuff. So what I am going to do, I am going to simply use that username and password. Once you will opening, or you are getting this dashboard, you will be not able to see all this. It is initially blank, and your plugins will take few minutes, like 10 to 15 minutes, or either based on your system or network stability it will take half an hour. Max you can consider 45 minutes. So you have to wait till then, because if plugins is not done properly, you will not able to go for the new scan. So that's how you can install the Nessus at your end. And this Nessus is storing, like you have certain plugins rule, so you can set your own plugins rules as well. You can make certain policies, so it is also helping you to get customized. So this is how you can use the Nessus. And the very important thing, whenever you are signing out from this particular Nessus, you have to make sure that you are stopping these services, because as you see this command, simply it's giving you the you can say simply it's giving you the statement that D, initially this D is standing for daemon, that is background services. So whenever you are closing or you are getting log out from the services, so make sure you are stopping the certain services, because the services are going to get run at the back end, and this will make your work slow. So I have stopped it, Nessus services. Now if you really want to check whether the service has been stopped or not, you can check the status again, and over here if you can see, the status is inactive. So you have to make sure whenever you are getting log out, you have to stop the services. Now this is what we are talking about the Nessus. But as we are done with the Nessus, now the second thing that we have to do is we have to go for the OpenVAS. So why I am changing or switching from the user, because in my Kali I am already having the OpenVAS. So that's the reason I am changing my terminal. And over here you can see in vulnerability analysis I have GVM. So once you are going to install this GVM, this OpenVAS, this GVM will be shown in your vulnerability analysis. Now let's talk how we can install this particular OpenVAS. And OpenVAS is almost designed on the Greenbone framework. So that's the reason it's not OpenVAS majority of the time, it's considered as GVM. I hope you are good with the installation of Nessus. So if you have any questions regarding Nessus, you can type in the chat box. Hello. So I hope you guys are not having any issues or doubt regarding the Nessus. Okay, so let's start for the OpenVAS. So OpenVAS is totally based on the CLI. So for that, the very first thing which you have to make sure is that you're using the updated package and library. For that, simply go and type in your terminal apt update. So if you guys have not updated your packages till now, it will take some time, but for me it will take few minutes only. So once your package is updated, you have to upgrade. So this is the two important stuff you have to do whenever you are trying to install any kind of package, whether it's from the GitHub, it's from the Docker, any repository, or like simple Python or any language also. So just make sure you are updating and upgrading the packages and libraries. And apt is one of the best stuff to help you with the updations. So guys, do you know what this apt stand for? So anyone of you, just can you let me know what is this apt stands for? Every time you are saying that we are using this apt, like apt update, upgrade for any sort of thing. In Linux you will most promptly see we are using apt for the updation and upgradation. And what does get stand for? Because some people are using apt hyphen get. So what does get stands for in that? Okay, so it has been successfully updated and upgraded my package. Let me clear the screen. Now we have to install the GVM. So I am simply typing apt install GVM. So in my case it is already installed, and if you guys are not, yes Anand Gupta, yes, that's the reason we are using apt and apt hyphen get, because it make much more easier for us to understand which packages we have to remove and whether there is upgradations or not. Okay, so yeah, that's the pretty much usage of this apt. Now if you can see my screen, I am already done with the GVM installation, so that's the reason it is not taking a lot time. But if you guys are still facing issue to install this particular GVM, simply you can additionally add apt install GVM and OpenVAS. Okay, so you can either use this command as well if it's not taking simple GVM. Now once we are done with this GVM, that is installation of OpenVAS, then we have to check for the GVM setup. Because if your setup is not made done properly in that case, and one more very important point, when you are running this GVM setup, at that time over here you will get a user created with the name admin, and you are going to get a password as well. So that password will be very long, like it will be a very long length character password. So you have to save that password, because whenever we are going to log in to the OpenVAS, we have to use that password. Okay, because your password is not over here, it's not having a default admin username and password, just like our Kali and Metasploit MSF admin other applications. So you have to make sure that you are running GVM setup first thing. Second thing, you're storing your password from over here. So right now I have already created this GVM user, so that's why it's stating the checking for GVM admin user, configuring everything, but it's not giving me the user like username and password. Okay, so it's just checking, and if you can see over here, already the database is present for this particular user. So we have to wait for a while till then the GVM setup is successfully getting completed. And the important thing which you have to remember over here is that you have to check the database, because over here if you guys can remember, in the sessions we have talked about that your Metasploit is using PostgreSQL. So you have to be very clear about the database. So anyone who is facing issues that with the GVM setup, so you have to check for the database whether it's stating the issue with your database. So if anyone is getting issue with this database, simply stop the database services, that is PostgreSQL, and then try to restart it. So that will help you to resolve this kind of issue. But most promptly, whenever you are updating or upgrading your system, this issue might get resolved. So over here you can see it's stating that downloading SCAPA data from the Greenbone itself. So it will take few minutes. So till then you guys can try to download this particular Nessus, or if you guys want to start with the OpenVAS, you can try it, because OpenVAS is simply just some 4 to 5 commands and you are ready to start your machine. Okay, so we have to wait for a while till this download is getting successfully completed, because if you can see in the feeds, we are having some database other than NVTs. We have certs, we have SCAPA, because OpenVAS is just not talking about the CVEs, but it also talking about the compliances, the plugins, the policies. So that's the reason it's taking a bit more time. Okay, so if you guys are having any issues or questions regarding these tools, you can ask me, because it will take some time to download the particular databases. Guys, anyone know what is Greenbone framework? Have you tried to explore this Greenbone framework? Because in the previous session, when we are talking regarding the penetration testing, there itself I have told you that for OpenVAS you have to know something about the Greenbone framework. So anyone can respond what is this Greenbone framework and what they are actually using. It's a community or the organization. Okay, no worries. If you guys can see over here, it's give you that it is having OpenVAS, and the particular path, that is your OpenVAS, is good to go, and it also state that the admin user already exists. In my case it's saying already exists, but in your case it will show the admin user created, or admin it's done with the admin user. Now the next step what we have to go for, we have to check the setup. Okay, till this we have not done the installation over here. Till this the two commands we have gone through, that is jvm installation and the setup, is just about to make sure your environment is properly suitable for the download. Now you have to check the setup. So simply you have to type jvm hyphen check hyphen setup, and again I am saying, if you are not the root user, you have to type sudo. Okay, now there are 9 to 11 step it, and every step should be checked properly, and if there is any issue, so you have to check which particular step you are getting an error. So it's right now checking all the setups and services of jvm has properly installed or not. So this is the additional step and it's very useful to check. So over here you can check that the 9 steps and everything is done properly, so there is no issue for me to start the jvm. And the final thing is that you can see the jvm version, and over here it's give you the statement that installation is done properly and now you are good to go. So this is where your installation of GVM has been successfully completed. Now I have already installed this particular, so that's the reason it's not giving me any kind of link and reference. But when you guys are doing it for the very first time, at that time you will get, just like the Nessus, you will get a port that is for you can say for Nessus we are having. So just like Nessus we are having the port that is 8834. For OpenVAS, or you can say for GVM, we are having the port 9392. So you have to make sure that whenever you are running Nessus or whenever you are running OpenVAS, this particular port should be there. Now let's open our browser. Okay, and over here it's almost over here, simply you have to type https, and either you can use the local host, your machine IP address, and then you can go for the port that is 9392 and then hit enter. So just like the Nessus, you will get a warning over here itself, that is potential security risk. So you have to choose advanced, again accept the risk and continue, and then over here you can see you got the login page. So that is the username, default username is admin, and you will getting your password over here in the second command, that is gvm setup. So while it's setting the gvm, it will give you the username admin, and also it will provide you with the password. So for the password I have to again switch the user, because if you can see I am in the root user and my entire gvm setup is in the normal user, Kali user. So over here you can see I have make a specific directory, that is OpenVAS, and this is the password. So you have to make sure you are storing the password, because as I said it's a very long password and it's not easy to recall each time. So you have to make sure you are storing this password. Okay, let's minimize the screen. So this is your for you might be having your password this lengthy, but it might be of some fixed length. So you can say this is like somewhat your or IPv6 address. It's so long. Okay, so you have to store that password, because without this password you will be not able to log in to the respective GVM. So we are back on our machine. Okay, so that's how you can simply log into your GVM. Make sure already exists. So I hope you guys are not having any doubt till how you can install your particular GVM setup. And this is your ID, you can say, or the unique ID created. So this will be your default ID for the admin. So anyone is having any doubt regarding how you can go for the particular installation of Nessus or JVM, because we are all good to go for the GVM and Nessus. And once you have done successfully installation of your OpenVAS, you have to wait like for 30 minutes to 45 minutes, because the feed will take some time, because it's trying to download all the NVD databases and SCAPA. So for that you have to wait for a while. So if you guys are not having any issues, we can wind up the session, because we are almost done with the installation of both the OpenVAS and Nessus. Sort of, you have done with the installation of Nessus. So after installing Nessus, just kindly check for the plugins that it is installed properly or not, because if your plugins has not installed properly, you will not able to go for any kind of scan. So anyone else who are trying to install the Nessus and OpenVAS with me, kindly check your Nessus plugins and whether you can go for the scanning or not. And for OpenVAS, after your JVM setup, just check for the password over there, because you are getting the password there itself. And once you have successfully done with your JVM setup, you are not required to go and start from the CLI base. Simply you can come over here in the vulnerability analysis, and simply you can start from here itself. So you can see the GVMs has been started, and over here it's giving you the link how you can open. So simply you can open the link over here itself. Okay, sorry, my issue. And if you guys are not still getting the page after all this step, just wait for a while and refresh your page. Great, if it's working properly, great. Just try to go for a basic scan for the Nessus. It will take quite time, but it will help you to figure out whether that particular stuff is working or not. Okay, so right now if you have seen, I have already saved this particular password because it's too hefty to remember. And for the feed status, over here in administrator you can check what permissions you are having and what are the users or role. So over here for the permission, you can see all this permission has been created for you. And for the users, right now there is only one user, the admin, and all the access is allowed. And you have to wait for like 50 minutes, sorry, not 50, 30 minutes, because over here you can see the status is still update in progress. So till this not getting updated, you will not able to go for any kind of scan. So you have to wait for 30 minutes or 45 minutes. But for someone who is having a very slow internet, or uh, the CPU RAM is slow, so it will take like for more than that 45 to 50 minutes as well. So if you can see right now for scans, you can go in the task and you have this task wizard, so you can go for the advanced task, you can go for the specific task, but it will not help me to create the task. Why? Because I am not able to, you can say, uh, the specific feed has not updated, so it will not go for a particular scan. Let's still try to give you a glance. Okay, so this is the target which I want to scan for, and let it be everything the default, and let's try to create. So over here you are able to see that it's failed to configure. So just don't get panic if you are getting this kind of error, because you are getting this due to the feed status. So kindly check the feed status before going for the scan. Once this updation has been successfully done, then only you can go for the scan. Okay. And why it's taking so long time, you might get doubt, because it is having more than one database within it, that is for GVM data, cert, scap and NVT. And over here the content itself you can see, because it's trying to check for the port list, report format, scan configuration, compliances, your adversaries, CVEs, CPEs, NVTs. So it having more than one database within it. So yes, it will take a long time than your Nessus, but it is one of the very helpful tool for the vulnerability analysis, and industries are using this as well. So any questions guys, you can ask me, because we are almost done with the installation and the explanation, like how you can uh, check for the particular scans. For command to change admin password, before changing the password you have to stop the particular service. Like over here you cannot change your password if your JVM is running. So the very first thing you have to do is just simply go and stop the services. Okay, let me clear the screen. So before changing the password, just check your ID, like your JVM ID. Oh, so sorry, it's not simply ID. Sudo ID space underscore GVM. So from here you will get the user ID, group ID and groups for the GVM. So firstly check for that, and after that simply type the command sudo hyphen e hyphen u underscore GVM hyphen g underscore GVM and GVMD, and then type hyphen hyphen user hyphen admin, because this is your user, and then you can go for hyphen hyphen new password, and simply you can type the password you want, and then you can change your admin password. So this is the command you can change. Guys, if you are joining on the YouTube, please try to join via your actual username, because anonymous dunya is something that we cannot recall. For checking the password, you can check in the respective folder itself. Like if you want to check the password, so firstly make sure where you are downloading your OpenVAS and all that. So right now I am in the home Kali, so just go over there, and for the password check where your particular OpenVAS has been saved. So whether it's in the OPT or whether it's in, you can say, the share folder. So from there you can get the password, because by default your password is getting stored in that places where you are having your particular folder. So as you can see, my Nessus is there in OPT, but there might be chances that my OpenVAS is in the share folder. So over here you can check. हेलो, मेरा तो चल रहा है. क्या बात कर रहे हो? मेरी नेटवर्क तो चल रहा है मेरा. पता नहीं. हो गया, बस इनके क्वेश्चंस ही देख रही थी. हाँ हाँ हाँ. Okay, so I hope there are no more questions